You can write whatever text you want and change the color, the font size, the thickness. But then with the background, it's not just a pre-selected gallery, you can also generate with AI. And I've never seen it done like this. This lets you turn any image into a realistically animated video, custom designed for this rear screen in any one of these styles. I have fed this thing all sorts of absolutely terrible photos of things, but each time it comes back with something that is shockingly usable. From my favorite little plant that I turned into a plushie, to a selfie that turned me into an anime villain. This is such an excessively extra piece of software. But I think that's exactly what this needs, because it's such an excessively extra piece of hardware that you need to justify it. So far, I'm impressed, but far from convinced, because whatever you set on this display, it's gonna spend 99% of its time dim like this. And then it's only when you tap it that you wake it up. Thankfully, it does do more than this, because then you can swipe down and you've got a music player, which honestly I think looks stunning. And I can see the use case of it. You've got some friends over, you're playing music, you want to control it, but you don't actually want to be on your phone. You can pin things. So let's say you needed to remember to buy milk. You can pin the note for that, or a photo of milk. That's how you roll. They have made it pretty convenient, because you can even just circle things and the phone will extract the text from that thing and create this permanent note. It's like the 2025 equivalent of writing something on your hand. I'm trying to think of all the things you could do with this. I guess you could pin a QR code that you want people to scan, or if you've just started a business, using it as free advertising. There's like a tiny little billboard. It feels like every company now has added some sort of second space to their phone software to give you small updates, like Dynamic Island on the iPhone or the Now bar on Samsung. And clearly, Xiaomi are trying to make the second screen their version of this. So they want this to work with all the meal delivery apps and the flight tracker apps. But right now that's all quite limited because it's not launched globally yet. So the only thing I have now for app integration is if you set a timer in your clock, then the back of your phone can carry that timer on, with this liquid actually depleting along with your time. It's actually kind of stressing me out. There is also a notifications aspect too, which I guess is a very similar concept to nothing phones, where when you're out at dinner, you can stick your phone down so that you're present, but knowing that if someone calls you or texts you that you can still see it. And actually, look at that. It automatically answers on speaker, but this is just not a very good way to be handling your call. Can you hear me?
It's pretty clear. It's got that standard underwater vibe.
Underwater vibe. So even maybe while my phone's propped up there. Hello.
Yeah, in terms of clarity, I can hear you.
Okay. But it's still just a slightly worse way of answering the call on the front of your phone, because there's no mic at the back here. So this part of the phone's functionality, I'm not really sold on, especially considering that Xiaomi actually has their own version of Dynamic Island for secondary things like this. But the camera experience, which does also involve this rear screen, is... oh my god. Okay, so the cameras on this phone, I wouldn't call them a breakthrough in themselves, but they're really good. The photos it takes are actually pretty much always as detailed as the iPhone 17 Pro Max's, if not sometimes more, with also incredible dynamic range, though it does do something very strange with my skin tone that even if I disable every beauty setting, I cannot get rid of. But my suspicion is that's because this model currently being China only means that they've tuned it to Chinese preferences. The ultra-wide camera is this tiny little reject at the bottom, and it's kind of like you'd expect, not particularly good in low light, but it keeps up during the day. And the zoom is really powerful. A little heavy-handed on the AI image enhancement when you zoom in a lot, but nonetheless, it's hard to argue the results aren't impressive. Here's the thing though, when you've got a set of cameras that are already really good compared to other 2025 phones as rear cameras, then that is going to completely obliterate other phones when you compare it to their front cameras. I mean, look how three-dimensional and depthy the Xiaomi shot looks here compared to the iPhone's brand new revised front camera. And the way that the second screen is implemented here is awesome, because if I'm using the camera on my front screen and I want to turn it around, all I have to do is to turn it around and swipe. And then when the camera is active on this rear screen, the front screen switches to now needing a swipe, which straight away almost completely eliminates the accidental presses problem. But the other thing that's really impressive about this is when you're using this back screen, you basically retain complete camera functionality. So I can take normal photos, which look crazy good. I can go to all my different zoom magnifications. So 2x, I can go to 5x for if you want to capture an absolutely harrowing amount of detail in your face. I'm actually so sorry for showing this to you. You can use the ultra-wide camera, which is actually a tiny bit wider than the widest setting on the new iPhone's front camera. Plus also you've got portrait mode, you can take video, and you can take that video in any quality. So I've been shooting selfie video in 8K resolution, and yeah, it does look a little over-sharpened, but there is absolutely zero doubt in my mind that this is the highest quality selfie video I have ever taken. And it's all finished off with this photo collage mode, which is so thoughtfully designed. You take a few photos back to back and it puts them together into a Polaroid, very much like a photo booth, that then lets you hit one button over here to actually print. I'm just so taken aback by the amount of effort that's gone into custom graphics and animations for this one tiny feature on this one tiny second screen. Now, this isn't flawless. I wouldn't say that this is a completely intuitive gesture that you're gonna want to do 15 times a day. And if you think about it, modern day flip phones can do the same thing with their rear cameras on the front, but straight away the moment you take them out your pocket. But then none of them have cameras this good. I will say the camera experience here is such a big perk that it straight away on its own takes me to quite close to the fence. And then, the strangest cherry on top ever, you can even game on this second screen. Xiaomi have actually gone as far as to create a completely bespoke case that is a working controller for the phone that is wirelessly powered by the phone to be able to game on this sub 3-inch display. So the case clips onto the back of here. When you hold this power button, it turns on, and the back screen recognizes it immediately. And then it's got this entirely